Linda jabs a finger at my fence. It's an inch too high. I'll sue you. I don't blink. Over 1 inch? You've lost your mind, Linda. She shakes her clipboard. Rules are rules, I enforce them. I pull out my phone. Not anymore. I tap the screen. Proof of your illegal HOA. The judge will love it. I remember the first morning I noticed her glaring at my fence. I had just poured myself a cup of coffee, stepped outside to feel the warm air, and there she was, Linda, the HOA president, standing at the edge of my property like she owned the land. Her posture was stiff, arms folded, her lips curled into a sour frown. She pointed at the wooden fence I had just finished staining. That's 1 inch too high, she said sharply. I squinted at her. 1 inch? You're joking. Rules are rules, she replied, tilting her chin up with smug satisfaction. The height limit is written clearly in the bylaws. I'll be sending you an official notice. If you don't fix it, we'll sue. I couldn't help but laugh. The absurdity of it was too much. Linda, it's 1 inch. No one cares but you. Her eyes narrowed. Don't test me. You'll regret it. I turned my back on her, but her words stuck with me like a splinter under my skin. A week later, the notice came in the mail. I tore open the envelope and scanned the page, my pulse rising with every word. It wasn't just a violation, it was a legal threat. The HOA demanded I tear down the fence within 30 days or face a lawsuit. I muttered to myself, pacing the kitchen. They can't be serious. This is harassment. To be sure, I called the county inspector and asked him to take a look. He came out, clipboard in hand, and measured everything carefully. You're fine, he assured me. This fence is structurally sound and within property guidelines. If your HOA is giving you trouble, they're overreaching. I felt vindicated, but Linda wasn't done. The next day, I confronted her while she was out watering her perfectly trimmed roses. I held the letter in my hand. This is ridiculous, and you know it. She smirked, not even looking up. Ridiculous or not, you'll lose. I stepped closer. I've already had the county out here. The fence is legal. You don't get to rewrite the law because you don't like the way it looks. Her eyes flicked up and she leaned in. Watch yourself. You don't want to make an enemy of me. I shook my head and walked away, but something in her tone chilled me. A few nights later, I came home from work to a sight that made my stomach twist. The fence was vandalized. Long, jagged gouges had been slashed across the wood. Spray paint scrawled across one panel in angry red letters. Illegal! My breath caught in my throat. My hands curled into fists. Linda, I whispered. I didn't need proof to know who had done this. But proof, as it turned out, was exactly what I had. I rushed inside, pulled up the footage from my security cameras, and there it was, clear as day. Linda, dressed in dark clothes, creeping into my yard in the dead of night, a paint can in one hand and something sharp in the other. She worked quickly, like she knew what she was doing, then scurried away into the shadows. Fury burned in my chest. I stormed across the street and pounded on her door. When she opened it, she wore that same smug look. What do you want? You vandalized my fence, I spat. She feigned surprise. Prove it. I leaned in, my voice low. I've got cameras. You're caught for the first time, her smirk faltered. You wouldn't dare press charges. I stared her down. Oh, I'll do more than that. You've crossed the line, Linda. The next morning, I was at the police station with a flash drive in hand. The officer behind the desk plugged it in, watched the footage, and shook his head. Clear as day, he said. That's vandalism and trespassing. You want to press charges? Yes, I said firmly. And I want a restraining order. The court hearing was surreal. Linda sat across from me, her lawyer at her side, still trying to act like she was the victim. She was enforcing community standards, her lawyer argued. The fence was not compliant, and she acted in the best interest of the neighborhood. The judge's eyebrows shot up. Enforcing standards does not include defacing private property. What your client did was criminal. Linda cut in, unable to stop herself. He broke the rules. Everyone else follows them. The judge banged the gavel. Enough. You do not have the authority to damage another person's property. This behavior is harassment. I am granting the restraining order. I exhaled in relief as the gavel struck again. Linda's face turned crimson. She muttered something under her breath and stormed out of the courtroom, her heels clicking like gunshots against the tile floor. The aftermath was complicated. In the weeks that followed, the neighborhood was buzzing. Some people avoided me, as if I had brought trouble to their quiet community, but others quietly pulled me aside to offer support. One evening, while I was repairing the spray-painted panel, my neighbor, Mr. Alvarez, walked up. "Good job standing up to her," he said, lowering his voice. "We've all been tired of her antics, but no one had the guts to fight back." Another neighbor, Mrs. Patel, approached me later in the grocery store. "Don't let her intimidate you. That woman's been terrorizing this place for years." I realized something then. Linda's power had always come from fear. People were too afraid to stand up to her, so she pushed harder and harder. But now that I had drawn a line, others were starting to see they didn't have to put up with it either. Still, life wasn't immediately peaceful. Linda glared at me whenever our paths crossed, but she couldn't come near me without breaking the restraining order. Every time she turned red with frustration, I felt a small flicker of satisfaction. At the next HOA meeting, which I attended just to make a point, she sat at the head of the table with her jaw clenched tight. When the topic of my fence came up, she stayed silent. She knew better now. Months passed, and the fence still stood, strong, tall, and yes, 1 inch higher than their supposed limit. Every time I looked at it, I felt a quiet pride. It wasn't just a fence anymore. It was a reminder that standing your ground mattered, even when someone tried to bully you into submission. That inch, that tiny measurement Linda had turned into a war, became a symbol of defiance, of resilience, of freedom from her constant overreach. One evening, as the sun set and the golden light hit the wood, I caught myself smiling. That 1 inch had never been taller. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful tales of resilience and justice. Your support allows us to keep delivering valuable insights and stories that inform and inspire people everywhere. Thank you for watching Work Story, and see you in the next one.